But
and you're not going to take the vaccine.
So, yeah. Well, they don't need a vaccine because it's not real. And am I? Yeah. Well, how am I going to take a vaccine? That's just you trying to inject me. You know, that they'll come out with a story of QAnon saying, the vaccine will make you black. I mean, that'll be the next thing they'll say. And next thing they say, don't take it. They're going to make you black. Your lips will get bigger. And then, no, we can't have it. They're trying to turn everybody black. It's crazy. I mean, you laughing, but they've said stupider stuff.
Yeah, indeed.
That stuff just is crazy. I mean, some of the stuff so far, one report was looking at, they said, Trump was so deep into the QAnon stuff that he had stuff that hadn't even made it to social media yet. He had stuff that only like 100 or 200 people knew about. So he had to be really deep into this stuff. And I mean, man, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. And what's going to be the backlash again, in the middle of all of this? You got this going on, people are forgetting that there are people in hospitals and people who can't even get to hospitals in California because they've said, you know what? If they don't look like they're going to make it, if you can't,
they don't look like they're going to make it, don't bring them here. It's like, no.
What country is that? Where is that? That's third worldish kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. I don't know how you get to the healing point when people just won't, they won't see it. They don't see it. They don't see how it's hurting everybody. And they don't see also, to the privileged person, equality feels like oppression. To the person who is privileged, when everybody has what you has, you feel like you're losing something. When everybody has that opportunity. And I think that's what's happening here. But you don't know that a rising tide will lift all boats.
Yes.
So everybody's going, if everybody can do what they need to do economically, then everybody's going to be okay. But you got all this crazy stuff happening at the same time. You got Mega Millions of Powerball. You got pandemic. You got crazy folk tearing down the everywhere all over DC, and they're talking about.
It said DC's on a lockdown.
It is.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When it gets dark, I bet they get their ass out of there. I bet they get out of there. Then they just got scared. They ain't gonna run up. Oh, it's dark. Just a minute. Let's get out of here. Let's hit the bunker. But it's just, and they're telling, they were telling some of the other Black Lives Matter people, please don't go out. We ain't going out there. What are we fighting for? We good right now. We're not good, but we're good. And that we don't, this ain't our fight. This is their thing. But it has been interesting to watch the response of the police officers, what had happened. And I don't know, I know, Chief, when it gets to be DC, there are all these different officers. You got the Secret Service that they're trained just to watch, the certain important few. And then you have the federal officers who guard the federal buildings. Then you have the Capitol Police. And then you got, got the regular DC police. I mean,
yeah.
Then you got the National Guard.
What'll happen is the Washington Area Council of Governments, they have memoranda of agreements that they have in place so that in disasters they'll make the call for example, you saw today you had Virginia State Police, Maryland State Police, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, along with a lot of the other jurisdictions, and every acronym that was in DC was pulled into this thing. So they have the mutual aid agreements there for just these types of disasters. I think what is going to be interesting, as I said earlier, is just to figure out, what level of preparation was there or was not there. Just a lot of Monday morning quarterback things that they're going to probably want to look at, because I can tell you the images of people storming the Capitol was a bit overwhelming for a lot of people. Because if you look at the social media posts, I'm talking about right, left, center. People were really caught off guard by that. And that's not something that you associate with the United States of America, as seeing the symbol of the power associated with our government was sort of under siege for a minute, because think about it. Think about the seriousness of this. This incident actually shut the Congress down, the Senate and the House. They were not able to conduct any of the people's business for about 5 or 6 hours while they had to do this. And think about this also. In a lot of these senators' desks, you have information. Some of that information shouldn't be out on the street at that particular time. And they actually showed some of the folks that broke into the building in the offices of the various senators, and at the podium. I saw a picture of someone carrying, I believe it was Nancy Pelosi's podium down the hall. And of course, like I said, you saw the picture of the gentleman sitting in the chair, literally where the vice president was sitting that morning. And so, that was just a real symbol of a total breakdown in order and structure. And I think that even for your most hardcore patriot, if you will, when you see that kind of foolishness go on, that should give everybody a pause for the cause, because the whole beauty of our system is, if Shannon and I have differing opinions, we're supposed to be able to, in a civil environment, to disagree till our faces fall off. But we certainly don't advocate that kind of foolishness where you literally had senators and congresspeople and visitors and staff members literally hiding in the U.S. Capitol. Think about that. In the United States of America, you had folks hiding under their desks because the building had been stormed. That's not a good look.
It's crazy. That's crazy. I was looking at a someone's Instagram post, and they said they didn't breach or storm the Capitol. They were let in, and the video shows the police kind of moving the gates away.
Oh wow!
And the people walking in.
Well,
I think I tried to just.
Well, if that's the
all
case,
I want
then,
you guys to know, if it was the four of us,
Yeah,
we wouldn't be here right now.
we would be here
indeed.
right now.
well, now I don't know who wrote that
Or
post.
four
but-
that look like us.
You wait till they.
Yeah.
No,
But-
that was great. That's
But in all seriousness, I think it was MSNBC and Fox, for that matter, they actually have pictures of the folks breaking out windows to get into the building. So, now give it to you. Now that was just one way in the building. Now you could have had other choke points where people were let in, as they're alluding to. But I can tell you, the video that I saw, it was about almost a dozen people breaking out a window so that they could get in. And then, of course, the video that came in with the Capitol police officer trying to stop the folks from coming up the steps, and then the one picture of the Secret Service, the House detail, Capitol Police protective detail, with their guns drawn. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. That's not who we are, and particularly if we can't agree on something. We might not ever agree with Republicans. Republicans might not ever agree with Democrats, who might not ever agree with independents. But man, we can't tear the place up and put people in danger. That's not cool.
You can be
Not
political
cool.
opponents, but not enemies.
Absolutely. I think it's good to disagree and to debate. That's how you grow. But that foolishness that we saw today was just, it was not only was it dangerous, but it actually disrupted the government of the United States.
I feel like the government's been disrupted for the last 4 years. Tell you the truth, with that fool that was in there. I mean, just think of how quiet it was up until he started. The more he's been out of the camera, the better it was for a while. I mean, because it was like every day. 4 years.
It's a reality show.
Saying something ridiculous, tweeting something stupid. I mean, every day or night. If he didn't do anything else, he kept himself out front, and that nothing else really got talked about. I can't remember the last time that every day. I mean, they may have mentioned the president, like he's going here. President Obama's going here, and then you wouldn't hear anything else. But Trump, every day. He was doing something ridiculous, doing something.
It's a reality show. We were really living a reality show.
So the question becomes now: what do you do, Brother Means, what do you do? Because the one thing that hasn't been, and I don't know, people may be talking about it now on the talk shows, but when are they going to deal with this 25th Amendment? I mean, what more does a brother have to do?
That's exactly what I was just thinking. This would be we have 2 weeks before now.
What the? So, I mean, he still got the new code.
It's my understanding that the Vice President Pence was the one who authorized the service to come in to help protect today. That National Guard. That's usually the president. That's his call. But the vice president did it. And so.
Which was a good call.
It was definitely.
The vice president made a good call on that one.
And not only that, it shows where we need to be in these next 14 days. They're talking about the 25th Amendment. For a lot of reasons, I think that they need to pursue that. And one reason is so he doesn't gin up this 75 million so that he gets to run again in 24.
I know.
That's one of the big things. Try to neutralize that piece, because even though they can, it's only 14 days for Pence to be in charge. Another result of the 25th Amendment being taken or put in place is that he won't be able to run for an office.
Well, I don't see that happening. Even though I think a lot of people were caught off guard by this, on both sides of the aisle. I don't think that's gonna happen. But one thing that I do want to know, Leonard, is, do you think that, again, from a clinician's perspective, that the country is so damaged mentally that we will ever get back to a state where we're able to, interact without wanting to put our hands on each other's necks?
Yeah, that's the burning question at this point. And for that not to happen, I believe that people need to admit that there's something wrong. If they don't, then, we're talking 75 million people who don't believe something's wrong. They believe that they are right and that we are wrong, us and them. Somebody, one of the text that you read said that folks don't believe that the whole country has mental health issues. I believe that everyone is traumatized. 2020 traumatized this whole country, and there is depression, there is PTSD. I'm not even going to talk about the crowds. I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing in my profession. More people are drinking and drugging. There's more domestic violence. There's an uptick in the suicide rate. Yep. There is a need for us to address the concerns that folks have. And the problem is people need to want to help, to get the help. And if they don't, then we can't go out. I believe that God will move mountains, but you better bring a shovel.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, people need to be willing to get this help. If I'm convinced that I'm right, and that there's nothing wrong with my thinking, then I'm not going to reach out for any help.
Right.
That's one of the bottom lines of African-American males and mental health treatment that we were going to address earlier.
Do you think it's more of the 45 or more of us being probably in the pandemic that we're dealing with?
I think it's a combination of all of that. I think that the pandemic has created a lot of issues that we're seeing come to bear. And I certainly think that there's some PTSD associated with 45 and his approach to this government. And it's, we see a lot of it now. There are some people who actually have the ability to access treatment. And when I say have the ability, I mean they, a lot of people had insurance coverage through their job and they lost their job.